Hello, greetings and welcome to earGROUND New Voices Amplified. And today it's a beautiful day. I'm not going to be speaking to a new voice, but to an iconic voice, a legend in the game, someone who's been making music for years, was part of the pioneering generation for hip hop in SA, but he's also a media entrepreneur and somebody that I would regard as an inspiration for me because he's one of the few people that started blogging and pushing music online and now that we've got a whole lot of people doing it, I mean, it's such an honor to actually have Slikour, Metane on the program. So just stay tuned. We're going to be talking about um, a whole lot of stuff, but also the ACCES Music Conference that is happening in Johannesburg, South Africa, which is we started running yesterday and it's going to end tomorrow. So just stay tuned and then we're going to get straight to Slikour. Stay tuned. There you have it, and welcome back. Welcome, Slicker, to earGROUND.
What's up, bro? How you doing?
No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's such an honor to have you on the program. Like I said in my introduction, you're one of the people that inspired me so much. And through the years, I know you've inspired so many, not only in South Africa, but across the region and across the continent. Um, I'll take you back a bit to your early years. You grew up in Katlehong, and uh, I'm always wondering and thinking to myself, what fed your imagination, considering that there was not so much hip hop that was happening back then?
I went and I found the hip hop. I think I got bitten by the bug with the stuff I saw on TV. Which was MC Hammer at the time, and you just wanted to dig deeper and dig deeper, and that's really what happened with me. I just started digging deeper and looking for this hip hop.
Great. But then what became the dream? What was the dream then?
It wasn't. It was just innocent passion. There was no real dream. I thought I'd be something else in my life.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was just innocent passion, and I think to a certain extent, a huge part of it till this day is still the same thing. It's just a matter of acknowledging though the power of it. I think when I do things now, I'm aware of the power of it. Even if I'm not really thinking of it. So it's still innocent passion, but just being aware of the power of it.
Wow, great. But being part of the legendary Skwatta Kamp, you know, the group um blew up at a time when Kwaito was a big thing. Literally, Kwaito was not only big in South Africa but also uh, within Southern Africa, and hip
Mm.
hop was still, an infant in terms of the genre within the continent. But you guys defied all of that to become one of the most uh, notable outfits musically on the continent. Uh, how do you recall that experience?
The I always say that anything that's going to happen that's great happens in isolation of anything else that exists in greatness. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
as great as Kwaito was, we had to create the greatness of this genre, and so the industry could embrace us and the business could embrace us. So I mean, when you're in it, you don't know you're in it. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
when you're doing it, you don't know what you're doing. You know, you just wake up every morning just like following this passion, not knowing where it's going to take you. You know what I mean?
Wow, great. And when you went solo, one of the songs that played so much on Zimbabwean radio and became also a major hit was Blacks Are Fools. And it also created a lot of controversy and a lot of talk. Um, uh, d- do you still hold the same perception, that was carried in the message?
Yeah, the message is still holds weight. You know, the message still holds weight. I mean, it really focuses on our focus as a people, in all the things um, that don't literally like validate our growth. You know, so yeah, so it still really holds a lot of weight in my view. And yeah, some people might not believe it, but we still don't have we still don't have a black economy. So you know what I mean. But it's still black people that run the economy. So you got to figure that out.
Ah, interesting there because you talk about the economy, and this is something that I've passionately been talking about and also practicing. What was the evolution like from being Slicker, the artist, to being an entrepreneur and also getting into marketing and promoting other artists, uh, like Questa? How was the evolution for you?
Um, you know, um, um, people like always think that like it's as if like you had this plan and you thought about this stuff, but like we people of that are driven. Hello. Oh,
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah.
yeah, we people that are driven. Yes, we have a plan. I have a plan for what I want to do today. Um, yes, I have a plan for maybe building a label. It was a plan, and until you realize that like it's not sustainable. But then in the journey of meeting up with Questa probably was within the journey where I realized that it's not really a sustainable business. So I wouldn't really take the success of Questa and put it on me. I think he made his own success.
Yeah.
We just like maybe like incubated it. And but it wasn't a but I don't think it was a good business model for us. It never made sense. And so that's why you don't intentionally continue going that route. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
um you have gone another route, which is obviously the digital route, which is still a music route, but it's really driven by having control of the stories that we tell about the artists. And from that control that we have, it's been able to give artists literally control of their narrative too. You know, the more that like they can be heard and they can give their views, the more we know who they really are. And we don't have to live in a world of perception. And if we start seeing ourselves in them, we also start realizing that like there's probably much more to us also as individuals. And we got to maybe tap into that potential.
Ah, interesting there because you talk about the project that you launched and it has become such a big brand, Slicker on Life, and you started this at a time when there was not so much excitement to create content online. you know a lot of people are still going in the conventional routes and stuff, but now because of COVID and a whole lot of things have really moved fast, but you'd already started this. uh, what were you seeing ahead, for you to create Silicon Life, and what purposes it served for the South African music industry?
I mean, I used to read a lot of blogs in the States a long time ago, and I just felt that like what I really got from the blogs, it was a little bit unconventional. It was people who literally really were participators in the sport as journalists also. And I just felt that we don't have none of that, and then I realized that, like, you have to remove your hat of being competitive, but have your hat of wanting to compile a story. You have to genuinely have a genuine interest, to tell people stories, and have a genuine interest to see people succeed. Because you put them forward ahead of you. So that's really the two things that really kicked off like Slick on Life as a business, and 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 um, and do we want to be successful? Do we want to be known in Zimbabwe? Do we want to be known
Yes.
in Ghana, in Kenya, Nigeria, and also work in South Africa? Of course we do. Um, do we know how we did it? Of course we don't.
That's interesting. But I mean, it brings me to another question, which is on the evolution of the South African music industry. When you're looking from outside, it always appears as something that is deliberately made. People literally sit down and decide how things are going to go. And now we see such a big industry for uh, both hip hop and now Amapiano, the house movement. Um, is it that deliberate as we think, or certain things just happen? And if it's deliberate, what are the steps? What really happens within that engine?
As a little bit of a controversial conversation that we had with a friend of mine, Sugar Smacks,
Mhm.
and we were just talking about like the how South Africa, maybe even Southern Africa, has literally been the hub of the world's sound in many places. Whether you think of Kuato, and you think about like the bass lines, and you think of the first sounds, the first trap sounds when Ti and them were doing trap a long time ago. Um, and you listen to the bass lines of that, and you listen to that, and you go, well, that sounds a little bit like how they used to do the Kwaito things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You look at Afropop. Afropop was a big thing, and pioneers or guys that really drove that were groups like Mafigizol and Malaika.
Yeah.
That spread out into like into the rest of Africa, and that's become what do they call it now in the world? Um, it's become do they call it Afropop in the world? They call it, I don't know what they call it in the world, but obviously like Nigeria has really like taken the sound and owned it. You know what I mean? You got like Wizkid and them, like they're doing an incredible job right in the world right now. But mainstream guys who really did it in our market were like my figures all. I think like when you listen to all the stuff the guys are doing, besides the patterns of the Afro pop, Afro, they call it Afro beats in the world, right?
Yes. Afrobeat. Yeah. True.
But it's an evolution of Afro pop, if you think about it, it's an evolution of Afro pop. Obviously, like everyone else is adding the elements.
Yeah.
You look at my piano; it's in the UK right now.
True.
It's everywhere. So when we looked at it, we were like, I mean, even with Skwatta Kamp, when we were doing the type of rap we were doing,
Yeah.
it spread all over Africa. I mean, you had groups like P Squared before us who were doing big things.
True.
Um, but when we looked at it, we said, South Africa or Southern Africa is literally like the cornerstone of the sound that literally goes into the rest of the Africa or the world. You
Mhm.
know, Master KG, Jerusalem. So when I mean, maybe it's a biased statement. Maybe people will disagree with it, but the truth of the matter is that nothing is thought of. I mean, Amapiano has been, people used to reject Amapiano in 2013, 2014. People weren't like giving it its dues, you know.
But
Uh,
did it take radio for it to get an appreciation, or it was
no,
alternative?
no. Like Skwatta Kamp, it never took radio. You know, it's like all these genres are happening, are really like happening without radio. These are young kids who working in their garages who've been rejected by the mainstream, and but like they create these sounds and they influence their peers, and their peers literally are DJs, and they start, which was the same thing that happened with us with Squatter Camp. We influence our peers, and this thing just starts creating this momentum that radio is like, oh, we falling behind, you know. So no, this stuff is not from radio. This is something from a garage. I was with the pioneers of it 2 days ago, you know?
Wow. So, do you think artists are justified to complain about airplay in this day and age? Because it's still a conversation in Zimbabwe up to now.
I mean, the markets are always different. You know what I mean? Um, you look at a guy like Maporisa who has dominated the charts this whole year. You know, it's not like a guy who's like he might play his songs on radio, but it's not like they got all these. He wasn't made by radio. He was made by digital. But the market allows that. Casper was made by digital. The market allows that. It's the South African market. I don't know about other territories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the question you gotta ask yourself is, how many people are listening to radio anywhere in Zimbabwe? And if there are many people, how many people literally like you go, ah, that's a cool person that listens to radio. All the cool people listen to radio. You know. So then you gotta ask yourself those real questions: is that you want this broad reach on radio, and it's just a bunch of old people that are gonna hear you that won't connect, um, or are they young people who are listening to radio? You know what I mean?
Interesting there, because the music in South Africa also manages to unlock corporate value and create an economy, which has been, I think, one of the biggest struggles for the creative sector in Zimbabwe, to actually get that confidence and support and trust from the corporate sector to start to see the money flowing in. What would you advise? What would be your word to artists that are struggling to penetrate and be able to create corporate value?
You know, um, I say it with like I don't want to say anything that's like incorrect, firstly,
Yeah,
and I also don't want to. Sometimes you can say, "Oh, this is what you need to do," and it's just wah ha ha. You
yeah,
also got to go look at like the economical landscape generally of where you are. You know, in Zimbabwe, you know, you got to look at like where are the brands in Zimbabwe. You know, are they playing close with talent in Zimbabwe? You know, we there's some things that like are not going to happen because the landscape generally in Zimbabwe doesn't enable it because the business is not grounded in the space. You know,
true.
it's like in South Africa, take for instance, like what can happen with a brand like say Coca-Cola because they have offices here and basically the operation runs here, and there's their political landscape, the economical landscape, they
Yeah,
believe it's stable enough. So you got to look at all those things, right? But then you get like Apple Music that's in the States, and Apple Music will do a big ass concert, but they'll never do any marketing in this country, right? At this
yeah,
point in Africa. For them, we're not a priority because they look at the fact that economically it doesn't make sense, politically it doesn't make sense. They look at all those things. So it's almost like the tiers of what they're gonna do with African continents are based on the global priorities. So if they see South Africa as a place where they launch um, they literally like try play with the guys here and do business with the guys here. But if Zimbabwe, they go, ah, the political landscape is a bit, or they go to Kenya and they go, hey, Kenya's moving fast with the technology. There's an opportunity here. So everything is not really just about the artist. It's all political and it's all like economical. And we literally then make these assumptions that like no one is going to help us. No, but like those things, literally, you've just inherited the legacy of the political and economical landscape. And if you do break through, you literally like have done the work and built the momentum so people see you outside that environment. You know.
Ah, that is deep. That is deep. Before we move to the last part, I'm going to be talking about Access Conference. I wanted to ask about consistency and being relevant in the game for so long. For a genre that is hip hop and the work that you do, it's not so easy to remain relevant because there's always new competition, new people coming in, and the attention is shifting from time to time, especially now with social media. How have you managed to stay relevant through the years?
Um, I've got a song um, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm relevant. Um, but it's interest, it's curiosity. It's people's mercy giving me the place and giving me the space. I really think that those are the things. I'm not like I said. Do I know how? I don't, but I'm here. But I'm here, so it tells me that I still have a job to do.
Correct. But do you watch what you say because of you'll be trying to maintain some business or being politically correct in the sense of maybe the corporate world or any sort of business that you're doing, and then now because you're speaking about different things that are happening within the creative sector, you have a voice, you're an authority, and an opinion leader. Do you censor yourself or you don't?
Um, Remember, I made blacks are fools, right? And sometimes you realize that you could have the strongest message, but you're speaking to a bunch of fools. You know. Now, if you continue and speak to a bunch of fools, then you're
Yeah,
the fool. You know. So I ain't no fool. I ain't gonna be out there on social talking shit. I'm out there doing things. I'm out there challenging. I'm challenging. I'm challenging the status quo. Whether it's me doing the business I'm doing in the branding side, whether it's me running a publishing platform, like SLIKOURonLIFE. I'm telling yes, I'm not as big as Facebook. I'm not as, but you know what? I don't need to. I'm not finished with Facebook and Instagram. I mean, I'm building my own platform. I'm challenging the status quo. Mm, I'm finding ways to work with other people and other people on my. When I get other people on my platform,
yeah.
immediately I remove the platform from making it about me and I make it about everyone else. So I'm challenging the status quo, and people think that talking is challenging the status quo, but doing things is challenging the status quo. Finding ways to collaborate with other people is challenging the status quo. Being able to make money not only for yourself is challenging the status quo, and I think I do all those things. So
Wow.
I don't need to. I mean, I was a kid when I did Blacks Are Fools. I don't care, but like I never knew better when I did Blacks Are Fools. I thought that people would listen, but people don't listen. People love the thing. We consistently have to make the same mistakes so we can say that we're enjoying this experience of life. So we do make those same mistakes. So sometimes, you have to let people experience life with the same mistakes, and it's their karma also. So if it keeps us poor, then we'll stay poor.
Profound. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. It's something that just opened my mind and enlightened me on something that I think is very important to learn in life. The Access Conference is happening, and
It's a
today
bit cold. It's a bit cold here, so
it's called.
cold today.
Sorry,
Yeah, so
sorry about that.
no, don't worry. I'm apologizing for the coughing it up.
No, no, no. It's fine. It's good that we're doing this in a relaxed form. Um, the conference is happening, and you are moderating the panel on SA hip hop innovation and developments. Um, what are you going to be centering around? What are we going to be looking at? What can we expect from that panel conversation?
I just sent a message to the guys on the panel and I asked them what did they expect. I'm waiting for the response.
But I mean, what's the general attitude and participation within South Africa towards such platforms and events that share knowledge. Because we still experience a lot of apathy back home, unless if maybe the speaker is somebody that they're like, yeah, we want to hear this person.
Um, I think we learned from COVID, man. Oh man, so many master classes, so many talking. You know, sometimes I'm like, it was probably a better time during apartheid because we knew what to do. We had to pick up the tools and go for it, you know.
Yeah,
Everybody talking and no one picking up the tools, you know. I mean, that's my view, you know. We out here talking and not picking up the tools, and we have this herd complaining kind of like as a herd, you know, it's like this herd of people that complain about the system, about this, you know, but we all different and we all special, you know, and we want people to tell us we special, you know, when when you gotta believe you're special and you gotta act like you're special, and that's the only way you're gonna do anything, you know, that's the only way you're gonna be able to grow. So so you know, I've literally like made a selfish decision to say I am special, and I know that like if I know that I can do that, I can make other people feel that way, whether it's through my time, you know, whether it's through my presence, whether it's through my work, um, and I know that those people that receive it, you know, they're special too, but they gotta be aware of it. You know, you asked me earlier on, um, you asked me about like my when I was doing this thing, you know, did I plan? And I said, you know, it's always just been innocent. It's been always been an innocent passion. It's just that as you grow older, you acknowledge the power of that passion. But you know,
yeah,
as you grow older, they try to remove you from the innocence of that passion. So your question of like me being censored is that am I you saying that am I being removed from my innocence? But you know, what's the name of the company? What's the name of the website? You know,
yeah.
what kind of business does it do with who? What is the name of the company? I'm asking you. What's the name of the company?
My company,
My company.
Slick on Life
Okay. And so what does the company do? You know, it
Media. Yeah,
you know, so you look at all those things, you go, um, it's built off my innocence, you know. It
okay.
can partner with the it can partner with a global company, it can partner with an artist, it can do an interview, it could go sit at Access. But what is it sitting there as? It's sitting there as the core of where it comes from. Slick is a name that came from my innocence in the hood. Slick on
Yeah.
life, you know. It's deeper than 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 that. It's the innocence of it. So you know, it's now when I call it Stick on Life, and we're like, oh, you shouldn't call it the name you rap. I say, I know what it is because it comes from innocence, and I now acknowledge the power of that innocence, and then you try to apply it, and you try to apply that innocence in the things that you do with the people that you work with, um, and that's what we got to do. We got to go back to our innocence, but our innocence is a vulnerable space. Our innocence is sometimes non-conventional. Our innocence sometimes pulls us out of the herd, you know. Um, and that's what it is. You know, you gotta be ready and do that for yourself, you know.
And is that what you meant when you said in one interview that your hood gave you a name?
Innocently, they gave me a name because I was being myself. So this company is the company of that hood, that the place where I got my name. And
Yeah,
the work that we do will be from that place. It's that innocence. It's that will to want to make a difference. You know, I'm picking up the tools. I'm picking up the tools. I call the company Slick on Life because I want you to know whenever you see it, even whether I'm involved or not physically, but the name is there. It's because we picked up the tools. You know, we are we are we. I'm an activist. You know what I mean? You know, not actively talking shit. I'm an
yeah.
activist, like actively doing shit. You know.
And what legacy do you want to create and leave? The Slicker
Man,
legacy.
let me tell you something. When
Yeah.
I'm dead, y'all could do whatever. You
Mm.
know, What the hell is a dead person going to say about their legacy? When I'm dead, I'm dead. Y'all burn me, bury me, do whatever. I don't give a damn what legacy's left because I'm gone. Y'all niggas sort yourselves out. I'm being 100. People always worry about, oh, is the legacy? No, when I'm dead, I'm dead, y'all. Ain't my legacy ain't gonna bring me back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about what I'm doing while I'm alive. That's the problem.
Interesting.
Everybody's trying to leave a legacy. It's like they're waiting to be dead to do something, you know?
But what matters is what we are doing currently, like to make things work and change.
Yeah, because when you dead, they treat you like shit anyway. Because you don't smell like shit anyway. So you gotta accept that reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll be 100 with you. When you dead, you dead, bro. It's about what you're doing when you're alive. You can't be so vain. You can't be so egotistical that even when you're dead, you want people to you want to be entitled with how people should remember you. That legacy shit is like being entitled to how you want people to remember you. People, they can do what they want and live their lives. My
Oh,
ghost is not gonna make it better.
Thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate your time and also you accepting the invitation to be on this platform. Um, uh, to the multitudes of artists in Zimbabwe that follow you, that love your work and love your music. And I know you have profiled quite a number of artists from Zimbabwe. I've seen this year you did a profile of Joy, who's one of the
Mm.
finest voices right now in Zim. What would you say to them? What's your sort of, I don't know whether call it words of advice or just some words of encouragement to
Well,
hip hop
here's
artists?
here's my thing. I once again, I don't know what they're going through, so I'm not gonna speak like I know. It's like we're not herds. Everybody's going through the same shit.
Yeah,
So I can only say what I'm trying to do for us to reach out and have a little bit and be more accessible to people. So I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a secret between you and I right now.
yeah,
Um, it's only me and you here. I only see me
yeah.
and you.
No, but the people are watching on Twitter, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Yeah,
So a big thing for me with regards to Slick on Life next year, we have a plan to hand it to the people, and people will be able to write their stories, breaking stories, news, etc. across the continent. So we're going to hand it over to the people, and because it's getting to a point where what more can, like, how much capacity do we need, and how many people are we closing the gates for because we don't have capacity. So we're gonna hand it over to the people. Whether you got an account, it's earGROUND, and you just go
great.
write your stuff. We're gonna hand it to the people.
That'll be awesome.
You're gonna tell your stories. You're gonna hand it over to the people to start telling their stories, and and I think the difference, in case we're trying to make this work, the difference with what we want to do is that we want to at least, like, kind of, you can post your shit on Instagram or Twitter, but we want to at least try to remunerate the stories that we kind of get that are popping, because it will be like, if you're consistent, you'll be like a writer. You know what I mean? So so I think from everyone in Zim that's missing us, or that feels like, we also inaccessible, this is what we're gonna do. You'll be able to jump on the platform, and everything that we've built, and everything that we've built up to here, and everything else we're still gonna be building. You'll be able to be part of the community and tell your story, or tell the story of the artist that you love. If you also have the innocent passion that we have.
Wow. That is quite interesting and groundbreaking in a way, because there are a lot of people that have got stories. There are a lot of people that have narratives and content that are not able to actually access the platforms. And I should commend you for being accessible, because with the work that you've done and the reputation that you've built and the brand that you have, you could be untouchable and inaccessible, but you being accessible, and you came through to Zimbabwe, you spoke to people at the Hip Hop Summit
Oh
and
yeah.
left a lot of knowledge. And that contribution does not go without appreciation. So we really, really appreciate the work that you're doing and the vision that you're pushing with Slick on Life.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. And I know we missed each other the last time. I apologize. And I also
No, it's fine.
apologize for running late. I thought we were on Google Hangouts. I never knew you had this great technology here.
Ah, thanks a lot, man. Thanks. That's a compliment. Thank you so much. So, for those that want to be part of the Access Music Conference that's happening, you can go online on the Music in Africa Facebook page. You'll be able to actually watch the proceedings as they are happening. There are concerts, there are workshops, there's a whole lot of stuff that's happening. And tonight, there will be a conversation around hip hop, which will be moderated by Slickour, and it will have quite a number of interesting voices there. Gigi is there. Van Thiel, who's a record label executive, is there, and then Eugen Blackrock, who's one of my favorite hip hop artists. She's also there, and the Pretty Ugly is also going to be there. And yeah, like I said, Slicker is going to be behind the thing and making sure that everything goes nice and crispy. Thank you so much, Slicker. I really appreciate it.
Much love and thanks to everybody tuned in. Appreciate you guys.
Great.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks a lot to everybody who's been watching. My name is Plot Mark. I've been speaking there to Sia Metane. Why did you revert back to Sia Metane from Slicker? Are you still using both or
Um, I had a plan to release an album under Metane, but it's just so political because now I'm about to release all my old contents next year. So now when people search for Slicker and Metane, I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But call me whatever, as long as you know my name. Mhm.
cool, cool. So I'll call you the legend, living legend, man. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, my bro.
You're most welcome. So stay tuned to earGROUND New Voices Amplified. Later on in the next hour, I'm gonna be crossing over to Nigeria, to Ghana, to speak to another artist there. Until next time, stay tuned. earGROUND.